So I hope you are all having a great day. I'm kind of having a great day, it's just that my body is completely given in and I only spent an hour at the gym today. Very disappointing. It wasn't the 4 hours as I would expect, but anyway, we're getting somewhere, we're making gains. But today, we'll be talking about PlayStation fanboys, again of course, you know, never anything new as they're always the ones saying the most silliest shit on the planet, so what are we going to be talking about? Call of Duty and the PS5 Pro again. I know, how much fun. I thought I would just wrap both of these topics into one video just to give you a longer video, but sadly I can't make 2 videos this week as I've got other stuff going on. So anyway, you get the video, you get all the salt that you need, and you get to enjoy it, whether or not you like it or not. So the first thing that we are going to cover is Call of Duty, because for some reason, certain individuals, not all PlayStation guys, only some of them, these actual fanboys, not the actual enjoyers of games, you know, the people that don't spend all day on Twitter, yeah, for some reason they're mad at Call of Duty, or Black Ops 6, just being a success. For some reason. And for some reason they think it's a bad thing for the most part that more people get to play it on whatever platform they want to. So let's go take a look. Our first tweet is from the low-income gamer, JDub. Notice how ABK reported the COD earnings before the acquisition, but afterwards they're using numbers of hours and matches played instead. Spooky. Hashtag Xbox, hashtag Call of Duty. Yeah, you get it, just a bunch of hashtags to farm engagement. Also, he has Twitter Blue, I didn't notice that until now. But why do you care so much about sales numbers? They mean nothing to you. You consume and use the platform. You can play the game on your platform. If they say it's a success, cool, it's a success. Why do you need to know sales numbers? Yes, for the individual consumer, it might be good to know, right? It may be good to brag about numbers and all that. But who cares? They've said it's the #1 most selling COD or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't really play COD anymore. I don't care. COD kinda sucks. But what stake do you have in these companies to care about these sales numbers? Because you don't care about Microsoft. Why do you need to see the sales numbers? I just want to know, like, I'm curious. Because what is it, what do you have in this race to gain from knowing these sales numbers? What, so you can brag that PlayStation is doing better? Who cares? You're there to enjoy games. Enjoy the games. But for some reason you would rather not do that than spend all your day on Twitter, wasting your time talking about how you hate Microsoft, and just gave them free engagement. I don't get it. Like, why can't you criticize PlayStation as well? I just want to know that, right? Like, you should really hold these companies accountable for some of the stupid stuff that they do. But hey, you do you. I kinda want to give a bit more context to how you should look at companies and their sales numbers. The best way to look at it, as I kinda butchered this when I said it, is if the game is successful, it means you're probably going to get much better content because the game is successful. That's the way that I look at it. I looked at Dragon's Dogma 2, that was apparently very successful, so I can't wait to see what the expansion, DLC, or whatever is like, because I mean it's probably going to be good. That's all you should really care about when looking at sales numbers, that is it. Not to brag about them on Twitter. I kinda butchered that earlier in the little part here, so sorry about that. That's mainly the point that I wanted to get across. Our next tweet is from the Red Dragon, responding to the previous tweet from JDub. The next year, they will be counting bullets fired, and the number of steps taken. Red Dragon. This is a very normal thing for companies to do. Do you remember when Baldur's Gate showed it off? I think even Black Myth Wukong did it, where they were telling us all the stats that players have been doing and all that. Yeah, I would have, like, been really cool if they actually went out of their way to give us actual numbers, but it's pretty bog standard for companies to do this. They're not doing this as a way to flex on other people or doing it to go out there. It's just what you would expect from companies these days. They would like to show you the stats of what people are doing, and I kinda wish they did show numbers, but for some reason they didn't. They could be hiding something. So the next couple of tweets will be from Unleashed. My goodness, Black Ops 6 already lost 100k players from its peak yesterday. Combine it with the pathetic 58% rating. COD is in a downward trajectory under Microsoft. I'm gonna be entirely honest. I think you're stupid, Unleashed, because for some reason you think those review scores are meant to represent that Call of Duty. No, it's the COD HQ, there's multiple Call of Duties. You can even go look at the achievements and realize that there are multiple achievements under that one game. But for some reason, you don't have the mental capacity to realize that. Yes, the game's gonna go down by a couple hundred because I think this was posted around the holiday event. I think it was Halloween maybe. I don't remember exactly, nor do I care. I don't celebrate Halloween. I literally did nothing for it. But it was posted on some time around, I think, an event or a holiday for someone somewhere. So either way, I couldn't really tell you. If it is, it isn't, I don't know. But that's pretty standard, right? The game's been sticking around, I think, 100 to 300,000 people relatively consistently, but then you also need to keep in mind that there's also console players. Also, stop using PC. You guys talk about how you hate putting games on PC, and how you just hate the PC platform in general and believe it's inferior to the fucking PlayStation Pro or the PlayStation in general. It's really stupid. But yet, whenever you want to go prove a point for any type of talking point to talk down to a game that isn't either on your platform or exclusive to your platform or whatever narrative you want to do, you always come to PC to find numbers and information. Why is that? A little bit of a side tangent, but I thought I would bring that up because these idiots continually do it, and then they say how they hate PC, then all of a sudden they use PC stuff. Yeah, you get it, it's just really stupid. If you like the PC, and if you're gonna use the PC for information, why say you hate PC? Why is it your go-to for information and sources then? Okay, let's move on to the next tweet. How did a game from a no-name studio in China obliterate the biggest FPS of the year? Black Ops 6 on Steam. Absolutely insane. Ah yes, let's compare a game that was so successful this year and came out of the blue just because it was a genuinely good game. Like, I don't know about you, I don't think that's a fair comparison. You know, doing stupid shit like this doesn't really win you any brownie points, but okay, I guess you do you. Comparing the most popular game this year to a game that consistently hits around 300 to 400,000 people with every time they release a new COD. And we should also mention that Call of Duty isn't the most popular on PC, it's mainly more popular on consoles when it comes to player numbers from what we assume, right? Because PlayStation is the biggest console, most people usually play COD on consoles, blah blah blah, you get it. Okay, let's move on to the final tweet from Unleash. COD, Black Ops 6 is the biggest COD launch ever. Over 300 concurrent players on Steam. Meanwhile, Black Myth Wukong. He spelt Wukang. It's Wukong. It annoys me. Anyway, thank you for using PC numbers again, because that's the only thing you can do to make any arguments. You know, you're the same guy that has repeatedly said over and over again, PC is a lesser platform, nobody's going to use PC. But every time you grab information, it's always from the PC platform. And I guarantee you the next day you're going to be shitting on us again for some reason. And just yesterday, I saw you make a post saying how PlayStation and Xbox is beating up Xbox, wow, and then the next day you're gonna say, oh, no one likes PC. Make up your mind, it annoys me. So that's pretty much all the salt around COD that I was really interested or found noteworthy in covering. Now we're gonna go take a look at the PS5 Pro, as we need to talk about that again. And I thought it might be a little bit funny. So this first tweet will give a little bit of context to everything that's going down, but mainly it leads into a lot more tweets and a lot more information as we go on. So this guy posted pretty much the PS5 Pro spec sheet, and pretty much he was calling out the fact that people are talking about in the past how the PS5 Pro will have 33 teraflops, and many people peddled this information as fact at the time, and now we're at that point where we can see for ourselves in this official spec sheet it only has 16.7. But this is where the fun begins, because let's just say this guy responded showing a screenshot of something that I thought was very funny, so here, let's just take a quick look. He just said lol, and provided this image saying that they're gonna have access to RDNA 3, which gives them more teraflops or allows them to better use stuff to get more teraflops with the already existing CPU inside that, and since it's an APU, it doesn't really work, but now here's the kicker. So you remember how I may have already mentioned in previous videos, and I will mention this now, it's a Zen 2 processor. Can you guess what I found out when doing research for this video? Because it's a Zen 2 processor, you will not be getting access to RDNA 3. From everything that I found, you'll only be getting access to 1 and 2. Because if 3 is what requires you to get those teraflops thing and that method of how you actually get more teraflops out of the console or whatever you want to call it, or the dual cycle thing, whatever, who cares? That's only a available thing for RDNA 3, and that's not available on Zen 2 processors. And I can see why a lot of people were complaining about the PS5 processors and it being Zen 2, and how that may lead to some, not really issues because of it, but leading to a lack of stuff like this that you would see. And now, mainly I gathered most of this information by having a look at a spreadsheet and what they had access to through Wikipedia and a couple other websites to make sure that I wasn't just getting this from one source. But if I am wrong, you can correct me in the comments. But from everything that I've seen, you will not get access to any of these features of later chip models. And this is why I was saying they should have upgraded the CPU, even though it's an APU or whatever, they should have upgraded that part of it instead of the GPU. and that would have helped you get better performance instead of doing whatever they were doing now, where they had to zoom into images and pretend you were going to get 8K 60 FPS when you genuinely will never get that on console. And people get mad at me for saying that. So the next guy that we are looking at is actually an Xbox fanboy or an Xbox-centric channel. I don't really know, nor do I care. He's just an Xbox guy, so take what he says with a grain of salt. If the GPU of the PS5 Pro is RDNA 3, 4, or 5, explain to me why they don't mention it, but they mention Zen 2 for the CPU. The answer is simple, it's RDNA 1 with some tiny features added. The sooner you accept this, the better you will avoid the meltdown. I have to disagree. I believe it's RDNA 2 at the best, right? It could be 1 or 2, who really knows, but it has to be one of them. It won't be higher than 3 from everything that I've seen him from and I've looked at, but for the basic most part, I do believe it will just be 2. So anyway, this fine gentleman responded, saying, Lamau, still 1,000 times better than Deadbox. Yes, when you have no criticisms or no words to say, just say it's better than Xbox. Wow, not like we've heard that many times before, like don't get me wrong, he is an Xbox fanboy. And we can all look at and laugh at him, but Jesus Christ, at least have some form, just something interesting to say. Something unique. Do something. Please, I'm begging you. Anyway, you made it into the video. Enjoy that. Now, onto the final tweet, which is from Unleashed again. 16.7 teraflops versus 12 teraflops. PS5 Pro wins. Fatality. I really wish I could do a this you moment, but I remember you in the past saying that the PS5 Pro will have 33 teraflops, and now you're bragging that it has like 4 more than a Series X. Who really cares? I genuinely want to know why you care so much about what teraflops are and how many they have, because they're not a good measurement for performance. I'm sure you've heard that before. But I want you to understand that they are not a good measurement. Really, they are not. Yes, it looks good on paper, but there are many other features that need to come together to offer you that much better performance. Yes, teraflops can help in that instance, but you need more than just the teraflops, right? Everything needs to go together to make this better performance. So I would genuinely appreciate it you would stop using teraflops as a measurement of success and how you're going to get better performance when you're probably still going to get 30 FPS games on the PS5 Pro. Even though this generation of consoles was promised that we are going to get 120 FPS, 60 FPS as a standard for all these games, and yet we still get 30 FPS for some reason. It genuinely makes me sad. But I'm sure most of you will not be purchasing the PS5 Pro. I would appreciate if you didn't. Don't support bad business practices. Like, I would be genuinely fine if they charged you like $500, $600 for the PS5 Pro, but I don't think they're ever going to do that. I think as we go on, people are going to be more and more willing to actually buy the stuff, but then again, oh well, it's your money, your choice, you make that decision with your money. If it's justifiable to you, go ahead. But I guess that is it for this video. I'm just gonna go look at the election in America, so us Australians can go laugh at whichever side loses and wins, because, you know, it's our God-given right as Australians to laugh at the Americans. So anyway, it's the end of the video. Take care. Maybe subscribe if you like my content, leave a like even, and I'll see you on the next one.